Hey, this is Josh with New Review coming at you with a new review on the new mutant-based X-Men series, inspired series, The Gifted. The Gifted follows the Strucker family in a world where it's basically illegal to be a mutant. So the reasoning behind this is several years ago on July 15th, there was a protest, and during that protest, some mutant supremacists decided to start a fight, and other mutants did their best to stop it, and there was a massive fight, and a lot of people who just happened to be there got killed. And understandably, I get it. And the way that they talk about it kind of reminds me of 9/11, because I'm old enough to have remembered what happened that day. Um, the beard probably helps prove that. Anyways, um, and the subsequent world that is created kind of reminds me a little bit of what it was like post 9/11. A little bit. But what's really striking me is that it's a combination between 9/11 and what's going on now. X-Men has always been good for social commentary. The original concept behind it was in regards to the civil rights movement. How some people, because of how they were born, through no fault of their own, are discriminated against because of those differences. Civil rights movement is because you are white. In X-Men, it's because you're born a mutant. And it seems like in this world, it's been pushed up to an 11, and there's this organization called Sentinel Services. It's got a cool sounding name, and it's in law enforcement. And there's another law enforcement agency that has a cool sounding name. It is called ICE. And ICE and Sentinel Services are basically read to me very similarly, especially with what's going on now with who we have as president. Now, like I said, this series is good for social commentary, but there's also some plot behind it. Like I said, we're following the Strucker family, whose children are both mutants, and apparently the father could have been a mutant had his father not cured him, because his father was afraid that his descendants would be Fenris, which is his father and aunt. In this case, not the Strucker patriarch that we get to know, but his father. Thus, his grandfather and great aunt were part of this organization called the Hellfire Club, which in the X-Men universe was a evil organization. It was the precursor of the Mutant Brotherhood. As they try to escape Sentinel Services, and they join up with the Mutant Underground, which the Strucker Patriarch had been prosecuting as terrorists, even though they were just trying to get people out of harm's way. And there are a lot of interesting characters. A good number of the characters that are original to the comics, a good number that are original to the series. One of these is Polaris. Polaris is implied to be the daughter of Magneto. So that's fun. And the series, it was very, very suspenseful and thrillerish. It was also very much, like I said, a social commentary on what's going on right now. With the whole, just because some mutants, or in this case some Muslims and immigrants, do a bad thing, it blanketly covers all mutants, immigrants, and Muslims. And I enjoyed this season. I look forward to next season because there's been a split in the Mutant Underground, some joining the Hellfire Club, and some staying with the Underground. And it seems that the Underground is what the X-Men chose to carry the torch for them while they hid. and tried to deal with probably something else. And the Hellfire Club is resurging and taking the place of the Mutant Brotherhood. There are other mutant organizations that are terrorist organizations. The Hellfire Club, I would add into that. And yeah, the writing, the directing, the acting, the suspense all worked. I'm looking forward to how they adjust next season because there were some major changes. The biggest being the Mutant Underground breaking apart and the Strucker children going two different paths. The son, who had a much more destructive power, going with the Hellfire Club. The daughter, who was more defensive, went with the Mutant Underground. Additionally, they are Fenris, and that is a super destructive mutant combo that is kind of scary to watch sometimes. So yeah, this is Josh with New Review, signing off.